the trophies and their award plaques. Rotary is good. Let us learn to serve above self. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Past President Eniola Akolabi. May I humbly call upon the lead assessor to give us his opening speech, that is PAG John Senaya, to give us his opening speech. Thereafter, we'll be having the inclusive presentation. Let us put our hands together as they approach the stage.
Very much. Thank you very much. My district governor, ably represented by District Governor-elect, District Governor nominee, you're welcome. Chairperson of the committee in charge of the co-witness essay competition, I greet you. Fellow Rotarians, participants for today's event, I want to greet you all. Thank you all for your time taking part in this event. Welcome. I'm sure we have friends of Rotary here with us. I also want to salute you all. Today, I have the singular pleasure of being the lead assessor for the 4-week test essay competition. At times like this, when I'm made to sit over any aspect of the competition of this magnitude, I get green with envy when I see our youths do so much justice to a topic that touches society in almost every aspect. So I want to congratulate all of you for your inputs so far. For me, assessing your entries has gone beyond just checking for grammar, punctuation, focus, and all of that. It has taken me to the depths of the way your mindsets are, how your minds work, and your understanding of the importance of applying 4-week tests in our everyday lives. This has been greatly demonstrated in all of the entries. And for that reason, I want you all to applaud yourselves for being winners. You are all winners by the standards you have shown in your essay attempt. Well, this competition only allows for now for 5 winners who will be recognized. This we will do today at the end of your presentations. I'm sure that you're all aware that you are to defend your presentations. So that will be made known to you. But I think I have a fair idea, going by the way some of you have expressed yourself. I have a fair idea who and who may win. But just like in a soccer match, it's not over till it's over. And I expect that possibly 1 or 2 of you who we may not have put into any formidable record will spring that surprise. So the implication of this is that you all still have one more chance, which will last 3 minutes each, to turn the table around or to sustain the position. So I want to wish you well. Please be mindful of the fact that you will speak, all of you who have made entries will speak for 3 minutes only. And we're going to restrict the timing. That means if we have 10 of you, we're going to extend about 30 minutes thereabout for this exercise. I want you all to relax, be calm. This is only the 4-way test. And if you look into different aspects of your life, you can even draw on live examples of the way the 4-way test has affected you in your lives. I once again want to welcome you. Before I leave, I want to recognize those students and schools that arrived at about 11:30. I only wish there was a mark for early arrival, because that indeed touches an aspect of the 4-way test that we're preaching to you. It touches on being fair. Yes, it's debatable. But if you look at it deeply, if you arrive early at any event, and those are the qualities we want you to imbibe in yourself. Arrive early at any event, and you'll be fair to not only yourself, but to others. Because one, you will not disturb people as you enter. Two, you will have time to settle down and articulate yourselves properly. So, my young men and ladies, our leaders of the future, in a minute or so, you're going to take the floor. I want to wish you all the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, my PhD. May I ask that all the participants be up for recognition once again? All the participants, the participating students. Thank you. Please, let's put our hands together for them. More particular order, I'll be calling for Onyade Shelelo from Mayo Heights College, Ikeja, to take over 3 minutes. Let's put our hands together for them.
Sorry, I was just making an announcement. Thank you. Could you all please welcome our time for today, Rotary in your lab.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Onyade Shelelo, and I'm from Mayo Heights College. The 4-way test and the social media. Social media is an effective tool of networking and creating business opportunities. Social media has given people a platform to connect with their long-lost friends at the comfort of their homes. It has been designed to be easy to use by all ages, and it is free. Apps like LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook offer a professional platform for people to use. But this past decade, social media has been about people living separate lives. How sad is it that we're losing ourselves to strangers with portfolios? How easily we get entangled in the web of inferiority complex and personality disorder because of the bandwagon effect of the social media. Lives are being lost every minute to this new change. Destinies are being destroyed. We really cannot continue to live in denial and pretend for this past.
I may need to interrupt, if you don't mind. Could you kindly articulate your voice in such a manner that we can all hear you? So you start again. Yeah? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear her? Not quite. So please project, yeah?
The 4-way test and the social media. Social media is an effective tool of networking and creating business opportunities. Social media has given people a platform to connect with their long-lost friends at the comfort of their homes. It has been designed to be easy to use by all ages and it is free. Apps like LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook offer a professional platform for people to connect. But this past decade, social media has been about people living double lives. How sad is it that we're losing ourselves to strangers we call followers? How easily we get entangled in the web of inferiority complex and personality disorder because of the bandwagon effect of the social media. Lives are being lost every minute to this root trend. Destinies are being destroyed. We really cannot continue to live in denial and pretend all is well. All is certainly not well. And the only solution is to unlearn, learn, fix our use of social media, and ultimately change our world for the better. The four-way test of Rotary is the solution. Is it the truth? This is perhaps the most important question that should guide our usage of social media. Truth, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is conformity to fact or reality, correctness, accuracy. By extension, truth can equally mean faithfulness and fidelity. How truthful is what we post, tweet about, comment on, share, like, and spread on social media platforms? I've met so many people who are concerned with, or should I say, obsessed with getting likes and followers. These people go to Gucci stores and pose with empty Gucci paper bags. They also go to restaurants and take pictures of food they eat and likely cannot afford. These people are so empty and broke that the only thing they have is that unrealistic wealth that exists in their imagination. They live daily at the mercy of likes and favorable comments they get on social media platforms. Sadly, other people use those set of high-profile people as standard, and they put unnecessary pressure on themselves. This is the sad reality of social media nowadays. However, with the four-way test involved in what we say and do, this unfortunate sad reality will be a thing of the past. We have to make conscious effort to stand for the truth in our use of social media. Instead of suffering from anxiety and depression due to unnecessary pressure to live up to unrealistic social media standards, we should guard against falsehood. If we pause to appreciate and take pride in ourselves and our identity, we would definitely be happier and satisfied with our lives for what they are.
Thank you very much, Ms. Onyadi. What's the correct pronunciation of your surname? Selilo. Selilo. I always make it a point to get people's names correct. So it's very important because some of us are very sensitive. Yeah, Onyadi, thank you very much. I'll also take the opportunity to inform you all that when it's 1 minute to the end of your presentation, you will hear the bell. And we expect you to stop 1 minute after. Oyade, that was not very fair to you, yes? But never mind, the world itself is not fair. Okay, so can I have another round of applause for you? And I just want to let you know that it is important for you to be able to project. You must still a little low. So work on that, okay? Great. So the next presenter is also from Mayor Heights College, Ikeja. Would you all please welcome Chigozie Akane. have 3 minutes.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chigozie Akonobai, and I'm from Mayor's Heights College. Today I'm talking about 4-way tests on social media. According to recent statistics, it's estimated that in 2020, there were about 3.6 billion people using social media around the globe. The number is expected to increase to 4.4 billion by 2025. Social media has made communication, commerce, tourism, culture, transportation, advertising, and life in general easier for all of us. The world now is truly a global village, all thanks to social media. But sadly, this same social media has caused the death of many. It has led many to depression, mental breakdown, and suicide. With the aid of social media, fake news is now the weapon of discord, intolerance, and misinformation. What should build better friendships, spread truth, strengthen family and national relationships, build neighborliness, and an enduring benefit to all humanity is causing more harm than good because the core values of the 4-way test are missing its application. How many of us pause to ask the silent question before we post, comment, follow, like, and share information on social media platforms? How many of us consider if what we post, text, or share is true, fair to all concerned, beneficial to all humanity, and spread goodwill and better friendships? Until we really ponder on these all-important questions, social media will continue to be a ready and efficient tool of misinformation, violence, and death. The first question, is it the truth? Is perhaps the most violated, or should I say, the most disregarded aspect of social media. Social media is created primarily to help share facts for dissemination of information. Not just information, but information that is true, unbiased, objective, and reliable. A recent statistics show that many people around the world now depend on social media for news, current affairs, fashion trends, and pop culture. Through social media, civil rights issues such as Black Lives Matter, EndSARS protests, Justice for Tina, and many others got global attention. The only problem is that this same social media is used by mischief makers to spread falsehood and fake news. Recently, an handicapped woman who was seen on the streets of Lagos hawking sachet water and getting numerous assistance and donations from individuals and government agencies was later confirmed to be a husband of Lagos State government. She was said to have used Twitter and Instagram to gain sympathy from people in order to soothe the unsuspecting populace. Another promising young lady was murdered in cold blood after she was lured by fake job advertisements on Twitter. We also should not forget about a lady who was caught after she posted owning a mansion in Lekki, Lagos on Instagram, only for the real owner of the property to refuse to claim, and lady arrested. There are many more examples like this. Many social media users now live fake lives because of the unrealistic standards they set for themselves. Many pose with expensive clothes, jewelry, cars, just for the brand. For how long have they maintained this routine? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Did I get any applause for Chigozie? Thank you, well done. Well done. And I'll just remark that yes, you were rattled by the time left, and then you seemed to want to speed through the rest of the script. Yes, that's normal. Okay, but the way to do it is to, from that point, when you notice that you're running out of time, just take the key points, right? You don't necessarily have to read everything, so that you can maintain your posture, your pace, and composure. All right, I hope we're all learning from this. Okay, great. So I'd like to invite the next speaker, who has, of course, learned from the first two. And he's from Ajuwon High School. Ajuwon. Please welcome Ade Banji Jeremiah.
Good day, everyone.
the district governor, the incoming district governor, the past district governors, the district officers, and my fellow co-presenters. I'll be speaking on the use of social media before we test in perspective. For the past years, social media allows the interactions of billions of people across the globe. Social media exhibits the unique characteristics when compared to traditional media outlets. However, the other side of social media cannot be underestimated. As Rotarians, we have an obligation to craft any message we send out on social media through a very important lens, the lens of the four-way test. If we truly believe and live the four-way test, we can try to make a difference and change the tone of political justice conversation in everyday life and certainly on social media. The four-way test approach, is it the truth? We should all know by now that much of what is stated as fact on social media is not. We should know that many forces are at work. Many forces are at work trying to drive fear and doubt about many things happening around us. False information on social media can cause political instability. This is because when people post false things about political activities, it makes people lose interest and hope in their political leaders and political activities, and in other aspects, which can cause damage to the country in particular and to the world at large. Because of this, some social media platforms like Twitter has put an end to posting of false information about political activities to maintain peace and political stability. So there are ways to verify what is reported or stated as facts on social media. If you are going to engage, please take time to verify facts. Is it fair to all concerned? We all come from certain experiences and backgrounds that shaped our views of our community and the world. This is extremely large the first way. Truth may be difficult, trying, painful, and much else. But if it's unfair, it is quite truth. For truth is impartial, disinterested by its very nature, without favoritism, and ends fair. Yet, as Rotarians, we are exposed to and can understand views. We can put ourselves in others' shoes and show compassion and understanding. We should strive to be fair, that is, attain our political objectives without cheating or trying to attain an unjust advantage. We need build goodwill and better friendships. Someone once said that this is the key to surviving discourse in every area on social media. Every action we perform on social media should work towards strengthening bonds of friendship so that we can work more effectively in our communities. We need to be beneficial to all concerned. It's sometimes hard to know when dealing with social media discourse. Still, we have an opportunity to at least try to make our comments constructive, fact-based, fair, and not judgmental.
Thank you. I'm sure you all agree with me that we have another Barack Obama in the making. Please give a round of applause. The only difference is that Barack Obama was not fidgety anytime he spoke, right? So I saw you doing that, okay? So try and be conscious about that. You don't have to be fidgety. Face your audience, talk to them, all right? Second thing I noticed is that you were reading your script. You were not speaking your script. There's a difference. You should speak your script. Make it sound like a conversation, even where you have written it down. Make it sound like a talking to your friends, okay? Rather than reading it. So there's a difference between reading your script and speaking your script. All right, please give him another round of applause. You've done very well. So next, hot on your heels, I have from Ultra International Schools at Kute, Ibe Amarachi.
the incoming district governor, the past presidents, and then on the high table, various students and teachers from other schools. Good afternoon to you all. Standing before you here is Eva. I'm delighted to be in your midst today to lay emphasis on this topic, the use of social media before we test in perspective. Before I proceed, I would love to tell you that the rapid growth and use of social media sites and technologies are attractive and effective channels of communication. However, there are lots of unintended implications if they are used without applying before we test. Since social media is one part of your district's weather communication and public relations strategies. By social media, we are referring to Web 2.0 applications that enable to share text, graphics, audio, and video content, including commenting on text and content of others. These have many forms and websites that deal with social media features. The use of social media has helped people advertise their business through the use of social media marketing. It has a lot of advantages and disadvantages when people use it. The advantages of social media are educational process, connectivity, information spread fast. Nevertheless, anything that has advantages also has disadvantages. The disadvantages are privacy problems. It opens up the potential for embarrassment. This brings us back to the qualities. These questions ask us of the things we say or do in our daily lives. The questions are, is it true? These questions talk about trust. It is imperative when it comes to social media. When we spread things that are false, it brings fatal results. Honesty can be displayed by sharing posts and comments that are true on social media. Because of likes, people live their lives in the of who they are on social media, eliminating false perfection that is misleading to others. Is it fair to all concerned? Before we share anything to the digital world, we must examine the context to know if it is fair to all concerned. Neglect of this has resulted to suicide caused by cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is the use of electronic communication to bully a person by typically sending messages of a threatening nature. According to cyberbullying hotline, 41% of American teenagers report this cyberbullying. 71% of them conduct suicide, and 1 in 10 attempted. We live good goodwill and better friendship. Goodwill, the term goodwill has both personal and business meaning. In a personal sense, it means sharing compassion and kindness in friendly over interaction to succeed. This has built a strong bond between strong love and close together. Will it be beneficial for others? When we think about others and strive to work hard for people and our choices, life becomes life is joyful and fun. I believe this four-way test is priceless and to reduce the negativity of social media. The four-way test is a mirror, not a window. It should not be a window with a look to judge others, but should be a mirror with a look to judge ourselves. When we apply this rule consciously, consistently, and persistently, what can life be there? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amarachi. If we all enjoy our presentation, let's give our other round of applause. Amarachi, well done. And I want us all to note that whenever we're making presentations, have you heard of eye contact? Let's always try to keep eye contact, okay? So you're talking to your audience, you're looking that way, that way, that way. Make the Z. Z, yeah? Z, Z, Z. Okay? So always keep eye contact. All right, that's another takeaway from you today. So let's all welcome our next speaker. I'm sure she's eager to come to the podium from Corona Secondary School, Bara. Let's welcome Ayomide Olayemi.
My name is Irene. Good everyone. Talking about the topic, use of social media, for a perspective. Since the invention of social media, Its use as a source of information has been disliked by all due to its dependency by users rapidly increasing. But the question is it the truth? In terms of social media, being a news media, it's most of the time true because it is posted and uploaded by people. For instance, when the news of the second wave of coronavirus was everywhere, the citizens were warned by the government and by their fellow citizens and neighboring countries to take heed and be safe so as not to spread it. But most of the time, social media and news media is not always true because it aids false gossip and rumors. It makes people believe false truths. Nowadays, social media is talked about trolling, which is a way of creating discord and heated arguments on topics just for the right out of other users on that topic. It is very common on social media and its end results are usually interesting. Social media is used by everyone who has a phone or has access to an internet or to the internet. And it's a place where the survival of the text term applies to it. For instance, when fans of a band are opposing another fan because of what they said or what they posted, they shadow out each other. So people take it as far as disgracing the person to the point of deleting their account. Apart from social media trolling, there's a good side to it. It is a means of exposing people to opportunities. There are countless job opportunities, showcasing opportunities on social media, which can earn a person honor and fame. Social media can also be a means of speaking out. For instance, during the uprising against the level of police brutality around the world, social media was people's weapon, voice, and evidence to show for the human way they were treated and the pride they were. Another perspective which social media can see from the light of building and better friendship. Social media provides a platform for building new relationships. Of countries. It's a way of spreading goodwill since people can interact. Some people come together and discuss similar interests using social media. With these perspectives, the big question is still out there. Will this be beneficial for all concerned? Social media comes in two forms, good and bad. The good form is where the person uses social media with good intentions and goodwill. All the bad form comes in where the person uses social media for bad things, like when a computer pirate steals millions of revenues from entertainment companies and sells them for free. Companies lose money and the pirates are bad because they are hurting the company. So social media being beneficial to the user is based on the user's intention and the way the user uses the internet or social media.
Is there a confession you want to make? Were you intimidated by your audience? Were you conscious of the audience? Not really. You give her a round of applause. So, while she was speaking, something struck me that I should ask you, how many of you travel in cars? So all of us travel in cars. Have you noticed that when you start your journey, you don't drive from Gear 1 when you're going to Agbara from here? You use Gear 1 or Gear 2 to Agbara. There are times when you move from one gear to Gear 2 to Gear 3 and then back to Gear 1, and then you pause, stop, and then you do. That is how your speech should be. You do not give a speech on the moment at the same level. Okay, you're supposed to do slow down, speed up, slow down. That makes it what? It makes it colorful and gives the audience more attention, more opportunity, a better opportunity to follow you. So you've learned that, haven't you? Great, but you did a good job. You did a good job. But we are all learning. You agree with me that we are all learning. Yeah? So please give us a round of applause. So that was my day of Miami, and now he's been waiting to take his turn. His moment of fame is here. Please welcome Jay Esemoje from Corolla Secondary School.
Likes, followers, retweets. These have all become determinants of self-worth. They have become dictators of confidence. In our society today, they have been equated to our relevance as human beings. It's interesting, really, how we have let lines of ones and zeros become more important to us than the construction of meaningful relationships and true success. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is JSMJ, a student of Corona Secondary School, and allow me to take you over to four-way tests in our social media world. As a result of social media, the truth has become increasingly difficult to find. It's hidden under layers of Photoshop and expensive makeup. Allow me to paint a recurring scenario for you. Priscilla's Instagram account has hundreds of thousands of followers, and it is filled with pictures of her at the most exotic locations. Her comment section is abuzz with individuals awed by the lavish life that she appears to lead. But ladies and gentlemen, all that glitters is not gold. Her clothes are borrowed. She was photoshopped into some exotic locations, and the minimum wage job she worked could never afford the fast fashion she posted in. The true definition of borrowed. Yet, thousands find themselves fooled by the facades placed on social media. Girls digest torrents of models with bodies reminiscent of Barbie dolls, and they ask themselves, why don't I look like this? Boys see men with steroid-fueled muscles, and they ask themselves, why don't I look like this? We are told that to be respected, to be taken seriously, you must be a certain way. When using social media, we must ask ourselves, is this the truth? Is this real? Taking that step back to evaluate what we do will enable us to put certain things in perspective and protect our mind from unnecessary torment. Social media is an avenue from which we are posting pictures. It's a place where people, educated and illiterate, post their opinions. Here, the second point of my speech comes into play. Is the information we speak about fair to all concerned? Cyberbullying is a vice that I've been battling for decades. Traditional impact and anonymity that social media offers an incentive to bully others. As a form of revenge, perpetrators may leave people's personal information online. Ladies and gentlemen, that is no way to better relationships. That is no way to better ourselves. Without a doubt, social media is a place where relationships are built. But I would like to believe that the all-encompassing question to constantly ask ourselves is it beneficial to all concerned? These are all inquiries that stem from truly considering the truth of the actions we take on social media. If we can abide by these rules, we will undoubtedly be able to create a space that's conducive and enjoyable to each and every one of us.
Assembly. I'm not going to say anything because I thoroughly feel threatened by your style, your voice, and your presentation. So please give me another round. What indeed is an orator in the making? So, it's getting better, by the minute. But I know that you have one or two surprises coming up right on your heels. I want to invite all the way from Larry Awolowo High School, Agada, all right.
Good day, everyone. Panel of judges, Aquita Kuba, Rotarians, directors, and my fellow presenters. My name is Alright Nakaribu. I'm director of Maria Willis. Before we test of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? One of the world's most potent and printed statements before we test. Before we test of the things we think, say, or do, is a test used by Rotarians, Rotaractors, interactors, Rotarkids all over the world as a moral code for personal and business relationships. This test can be applied to all aspects of life. Sometimes the lines between right and wrong is blurred, and we often make wrong decisions that are both fair and perceptive to the people around us. And the application of the four-way test will be a perfect solution. The first step to ask, relating to the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Most students ask excess money from their parents because of their academic needs, or because of what they see on social media. They believe things on social media are real. They believe things on social media are the truth. But no, they are not. They only tend to do what they see and not what they believe. Second question to ask, will it be fair to all concerned? Fairness is part of the things that we need in this country, one of which is tribalism. The Yorubas not wanting to relate to the Igbos discriminating the Hausas. This is something that our religious leaders, our political leaders need to look into, and the application of the four-way test will be a perfect solution to that. As a senior prefect in my school, I was bestowed with leadership responsibilities. I would have chosen to beat and bully my juniors, or probably start expecting money from them. But I choose not to, because I believe that it won't build goodwill and better friendship. I always make sure that I consider the feelings of others in mind, because I know that it will build goodwill and better friendship. Everything others solve their problems.
Thank you very much. And that was Nneka Ora. Thank you so much. And I want to point out that you did very well by not allowing Jay to influence your style. Remain yourself. Because nobody does you like you. Okay? And that's exactly what you did. You remain yourself. And you did exceedingly well. So we'll quickly move on to the next speaker now, who can't wait to come up. She is also from Larry Awolowo High School, Agada. Yeah.
Good day to the district governor, the panel of assessors, my fellow presenters, and ever talented teachers. My name is Koyola Mepelua, a member in the Interactive Club in Larry Awolowo High School. I'm here to talk on the four-way test, even though we're not given the use of social media, but nevertheless, the Lord is with us. The four-way test is one of the age-long guiding principles of Rotary. It unmarks the thoughts, the basis of thoughts, expressions, and conduct of Rotary's, its members, and associates. The truth is the first aspect of the four-way test. There is timelessness in truth which is unchangeable. The truth will not exist without justice. I'm sure we all heard of Ini Omori, who died of recent. a girl of 26 years old, just due to misinformation in social media. Because assuming she was informed properly, and assuming we don't have fake news, fake rumors on social media, she wouldn't have died, she wouldn't have been raped and be murdered in cold blood. The second question relating to it is if better or concerned. We all know of the pandemic that struck us last year, and the government has tried their possible best to make sure we, the government students, because we feel we can't afford some things the private school can afford. So they ensure that they gave us a little code which can bounce and can do WhatsApp. And through that, we've been able to do our online classes. And it has been given to everybody. Unlike some set of government schools were given and some sets were not given. The third question, will it build goodwill and better knowledge? As a student prefect in my school, I've done some projects like sensitizing the girls on menstrual cycle and hygiene under WhatsApp platform we formed in our school, which is why I'm also thanking the government again for giving us the opportunity to be able to do that platform. I've been able to enlighten and expand the horizon of menstrual cycle and hygiene because most of them, I see them get stained, which is why I did that project. And with the help of my mentor, we've been able to provide a pad box, in which wherever you are ready or you don't know, you can just go and meet the person to do it. And that has made them to like me and also build goodwill and better pension. Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Incident happened in my school whereby I was accused falsely, but due to the fact that the truth will always exist with justice, that made me to be acquitted from it, and it was beneficial because some people could testify that I was not able to do this and I'm not able to do this, and that I'm not that kind of person that will do that kind of thing, which is why it was beneficial to me. And it was also beneficial to the student because assuming I was robbed of that kind of incident, they won't want to be or associate with me. And through that, they've been able to gain more from me. The 4-way test is a good way to live life